Hey Dumpling Besties, it's Dave Desai. Today we have 3 topics that I wanted to get into and address. First off, we have some parents in India protesting over BTS and what the effect has been. I also want to get into Jung Kook filming a bed scene that is believed to be more of a gay fanfic moment. And then we also have an update on HYBE's recent message to Kim Garam. So, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab a dumpling, tea spilling bug merch, and let's get into it. Kim Garam has been in the news a lot lately, and it's quite interesting how big this has gotten. After HYBE had announced terminating their contract with Garam and having her officially leave, it was almost like the company seemed like they were sure that they were making the right decision. And if someone is indeed a bully, I'd say such actions are justified. And a bully who could potentially then be given a larger platform to essentially bully others would not be good, and could be an issue much later on in LE SSERAFIM's career. I do want to take a moment to just appreciate how HYBE has dealt with the situation. At first, they defended Garam and a lot, and didn't want to say anything about it. And I think this shows the type of company they are to very quickly step in and defend their artists rather than just throw them out. Very few American labels do such thing. Oftentimes, if there is some sort of backlash, the label could apologize, but typically the label isn't the one to answer, it's just the artist. And sometimes the action of the label is to just drop the artist, and they can do it very quickly. For example, and not really a singer, but allegedly how fast Disney dropped Johnny Depp after the Amber Heard thing without ever hearing both sides. Garam, within the last few days, wanted to clarify her side of the story, and she decided to put out a statement, but she allegedly did it through a friend as she doesn't have her own social media account. And the statement was to clarify that the bully situation was not as it was made to appear. I can put her full statement on screen, but I'm not going to read it. But netizens believe that Garam was trying to make herself appear like a typical student and that she was just defending her friend. Ultimately, netizens took from this that both Garam and the alleged victim who tried to bring Garam down were both just bad people. Netizens were even going further to say that no one in the school ever stepped up, aside from her friend, to say that she was not a bully. But maybe they did and we just never saw it. The difference here is that even if we believe both of them are bad people, only one really received punishment. Garam will have a difficult time in the industry going forward. I believe she can wait a few years and see if people forget and then even change her name, and she may be able to have some sort of a career or be a YouTuber or social media influencer. Her name has been widely publicized in the last year or so that every label and industry people knows who she is, and not in a good way. After Garam's friend allegedly put out the statement, I guess news sites went to call HYBE and get a statement from them. I don't know what people were expecting from HYBE. It's very rare for a company or anything like that to admit that they're wrong and then unterminate a contract. Once they make that decision, it's kind of over. HYBE said, "As we have terminated the exclusive contract with Kim Garam, we have nothing to say because additional comments are inappropriate." And I agree with this. There's nothing to say at this moment and nothing to say that matters because Garam is not with HYBE anymore. And if HYBE disagrees with the statement, then there's arguing with literally a minor and the issue will never end. While this may be something that is very big and traumatizing for Garam to deal with, it is a blip and a small moment in time for HYBE as they have much bigger things to deal with. It also goes to show we never know what is going on behind the scenes, and we can never be sure of what is real and not in the media. I think people put a lot of celebrities on pedestals, and it's a bit different in American pop culture where the celebrity has to debut to be countrywide known and at these award shows before they can get the title or earn the title celebrity or idol. While K-pop idols still have this similar thing, but they don't have to debut for very long before everyone calls them an idol. Once they leave the trainee program, they're considered an idol or celebrity, and I feel like a lot of people just put them on a pedestal right away, and we often don't know much about them. And so this is why these bullying scandals are so shocking, because we do expect them to already be 100% commercially ready and perfect once they debut. But as you can see, the same isn't expected for American celebrities, and they get the opportunity to grow up in front of us and make mistakes and sometimes even still have a career. Going back slightly, I think it is damaging for people to look at another human being and become so infatuated with them that you can't do any normal day-to-day stuff. It's totally okay to have an obsession and really like music and all that. Of course, that's fine. What is not okay is if this hinders your life and your health. which is something BTS wouldn't even want you to do. This apparently was the case in India. Apparently, according to a doctor, there's 70% of people obsessed with BTS that he has dealt with have all been schoolgirls, and the effect has been so extreme that one 14-year-old girl did not sleep or eat properly. And then, of course, the doctor's talking about how some of these people would stay up until 4 a.m., which is usually probably when BTS drops their music or something. I don't think the 4 a.m. thing is necessarily a bad thing. I used to wake up around that time to first watch the music video as well. Of course, it's nice to watch BTS or any musician drop the music video the moment it's out. And you can almost feel that the world feels smaller because everyone in the entire community is there. Millions, sometimes tens of millions of people are doing the exact thing you're doing and seeing the exact images. And it's a great feeling. This is why people go to bars to watch sports. This is why people host Super Bowl parties. This is normal to me. The other bit of the girls not sleeping or eating properly is definitely not good. And I don't know how much of an outlier that really is, or if BTS is the first ever group to face that. At times where it seems like the Beatle craze was crazy, at times when it seemed like the One Direction craze was crazy, all of this could have been happening as well. It just wasn't as heavily documented, or the doctors didn't really have a platform to speak about it. But celebrity obsession has always been worse than what it is now. I would describe the current obsession as less. Most of the fans and people know when you see a celebrity now, you're not allowed to touch them. And we used to have these tour buses that would be like, this is where Angelina Jolie lives. And so there's none of that anymore. And I feel like this is to really promote this agenda that BTS has people who are not okay as fans. And while it's not okay to be that obsessed, that does ruin your health, the majority of ARMY is not like that. But it's also not unheard of in celebrity culture for this to happen. Of course, a lot of parents now have been monitoring their kids and even so sending their kids to therapy to fix the issue. And of course, these parents do not want their kids to watch or be this obsessed with BTS. I can see people being super anxious in the best possible way over this idea of what is coming next with BTS. Jung Kook recently just released his teaser photo of an edit where it appeared like he was a vampire, red eyes and lips. And then not long after, on the official BTS Instagram, they posted a Jung Kook teaser video that was hidden. It was 6 seconds long and it showcased a bunch of really stunning Jung Kook images. And there were also this image that was being talked about where it appeared to be Jung Kook's hand and it appeared to be on a bed. People began speculating what this could be, and there were even theories that this was Jung Kook's reaction to the BTS fanfic. That Jung Kook was going to create a fanfic soon where he is a vampire. The theory seemed a bit out there, but it starts to make sense when you realize how many Wattpad fanfics or Twitter fanfics of Jung Kook as vampires are out there. So people were excited to see that Jung Kook was even quote-unquote attempting to bring this vampire fanfic to life. Some people even took the photo and put it next to edits of Taeyang as a wolf to make this vampire and werewolf Twilight story. People were also making a joke that the Jungkook vampire edit eventually evolved into Jungkook on his bed. So it went from Twilight to 50 Shades of Grey, which is interesting because Twilight was the original story and then 50 Shades of Grey was a fanfic that was inspired by Twilight. So there could be a possibility Jungkook was inspired to create this new concept. However, people were thinking if this was going to be a fanfic, or at least this type of vibe, then it would be Jungkook and Taeyang together and that they will be doing like a 50 Shades of Grey thing. But that is too much thinking there. That is way too much to hope for. I don't think that will happen, and honestly, I don't believe Taeyang will have much part in Jungkook's concept. But if you do want to see cute Taekook moments, I do react to those on Patreon, so I will link my Patreon below. But what do you think? How do you feel about HYBE's comments to Garam, and how do you feel about her? What do you think about the parents in India protesting BTS because of their kids? And how do you feel about the Jungkook concept photos? Do you think it's a gay fanfic thing? Let me know what you think, and make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. Link down below. I think it's this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.